Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video. This is the final episode of NoDQ&A video before Payback this Sunday, live on pay-per-view and on the WWE Network. NoDQ.com is your source for the very latest regarding Payback. Got your questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift. So let's get started with the first one today from Dave 451985. How do you see Daniel Bryan's decision panning out? Well, any number of things can happen. First of all, I don't see Daniel Bryan just giving up the WWE title. Now, it's possible WWE may be writing Brie Bella out of the storyline for the time being, which personally I think is the best way to go. I think that it's a bad idea to have her aligned with Daniel Bryan on television. So I think you could do something where she does get fired and she can always come back at some point, but that way you were able to keep the title on Daniel Bryan. Now, as of this recording, Daniel Bryan is scheduled, at least, to come back at the end of June, and WWE is very hopeful that he'll be ready to go for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and will most likely face Kane in the Buried Alive match. And I think that WWE is going to try and continue dragging out this storyline as long as possible. They got about a month now until Money in the Bank. So I think that whatever happens at Payback, it's just going to be another tease and another segment to just try and keep the storyline moving without having to actually strip Daniel Bryan of the WWE title. So we'll see what happens, but I'm thinking that there's not going to be a definite conclusion to this by any means. All right, this next one comes from Creature13. When the WWE Network finally comes to Australia, can we expect to have problems watching it? Well, you shouldn't. The whole reason why WWE has started off with the network exclusively in the United States is they wanted to make sure that they got all the kinks figured out and got all the bugs taken care of, so when they do launch to the rest of the world, there won't be any problems. I don't think at this point there will be any significant problems. I mean, I'm sure you'll have a few hiccups, but everybody's been having those hiccups and minor issues. But beyond that, there shouldn't be any major problems. WWE got through WrestleMania 30 okay, and I think that they have everything down now and they figured out all the problems. And, I think it should run very smoothly for the rest of the world once it's released on a worldwide basis. All right, this one comes from Pipebomb316. Hey Aaron, longtime viewer, first-time asker. What are your thoughts on the WWE possibly giving Tyson Kidd a masked gimmick? I think it's a good idea. I think that you need to do something with Tyson Kidd, and the fact that they haven't done anything with him unmasked. I'm all for WWE giving him a different gimmick and repackaging him. And with the right kind of masked gimmick, he could be very successful. Maybe the mask could be a big part of his act, just like Rey Mysterio's mask is, part of his whole identity. And maybe you could do something with Tyson Kidd and make him more marketable with the mask and have the masks to sell to kids and all that stuff. So, I think it's a good idea and it's worth trying out and seeing how it works with him. I mean, he could definitely do very well with it, I think. All right, this next one comes from MMA Mike Zero. Are all of Triple H's matches 410 like Bret Hart says? But seriously, I know fans rip on him saying he got everything handed to him, but what great matches, feuds do you remember him by? Obviously, him and Mick Foley were great, also his feuds with The Rock. Your thoughts? Well, first off, I definitely agree with Bret Hart about the WrestleMania 28 match, the Hell in a Cell end of an era match. I was never a big fan of that match. I know a lot of people liked it. I liked the whole post-match celebration with the three of them embracing each other on the ramp, but the match itself, I mean, I have to say, I thought it was a 4 out of 10. I didn't think it was all that good. And as far as the rest of Triple H's career goes, I mean, in my opinion, he definitely earned his spot at the top in WWE, and, a lot of people like to say that he only got where he's at because of politics, because he buddied up to Shawn Michaels and then he got with Stephanie McMahon, but he went out there and he busted his ass night in and night out. And I remember going back to 1995 when he had the hog pen match with Henry Godwin. And I was impressed with him back then. And he was taking these bumps and he was, going through the mud and all that crap. And, you know, I really felt that he came off like a team player in that match. And, you know, the stuff he did with Mick Foley as Mankind, those were some tremendous matches they had in '97. The match they had on Raw and the matches they had later during the Attitude Era. And, of course, Triple H and The Rock, tremendous chemistry together. And, you know, Triple H and The Rock had some excellent matches, including the ladder match at SummerSlam in '98 and the matches in 2000. So, you know, Triple H is definitely an A-plus player in the ring. But like I said, I agree with Bret Hart regarding the end of an era match. All right, this one comes from Jose. Hey Aaron, do you think that this could happen? Since Damien Sandow has the whole identity crisis gimmick now, do you think he will come out on Payback and pretend to be CM Punk? If so, is it a smart move by WWE? And I also got a few other questions here. People asking me about how WWE is going to handle the CM Punk chants at Payback. And once again, it's going to be the elephant in the room. You know, I'm expecting the chants to be very loud on this show, even though by this point, you know, people have to know he's probably not coming back for a while. And chanting CM Punk at the show isn't going to accomplish anything. But I'm thinking it's Chicago, and the fans are still going to do it regardless. So how will WWE handle it? I mean, are they just going to flat out ignore the CM Punk chants this time? I mean, what they did on Raw a few months ago in Chicago, I mean, that was brilliant. But how can they do it this time? And, you know, what could they do? Could they have Damien Sandow come out? You know, a lot of people talked about maybe Bad News Barrett coming out and saying he's got some bad news. I think that if they were to do something, they would do it right at the beginning of the show or during the pre-show to try to get all the CM Punk chants out already so the fans are tired of doing it. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to even acknowledge it on television. I think if they do anything, they might do it before the show goes on the air when you know, the people at home don't see it, and just get it out of the systems of the live crowd and the fans there. All right, this one comes from Solo Mon Rules. Hey Aaron, what did you think of Terry Funk's run in WWF as Chainsaw Charlie? Well, I did enjoy the whole Mick Foley and Terry Funk reunion and them teaming together and facing the New Age Outlaws, and I liked the whole storyline where the Outlaws put them in the dumpster and ran them off the stage. I thought that was an excellent angle. But yeah, I never really understood the point of doing Chainsaw Charlie. Why couldn't he just be Terry Funk? I never really got that, why they had to do that. But, you know, it was cool to see Terry Funk, Chainsaw Charlie, whatever, and Mick Foley as a tag team in WWE and have a marquee match at WrestleMania. So, you know, I think of it as whatever. At least he had that spot, you know, at WrestleMania and got to do that stuff. And got one more question here. If you had to pick a new member for Evolution, the Wyatts, and the Shield, who would you pick for each and why? Well, first of all, regarding the Shield, I would not add another member to the Shield. I think that once one of those guys leaves the group, I think that should be the end of the Shield. I don't think you should keep it going. With the Wyatt family, I think I brought this up in a previous video. Maybe have Bo Dallas become a member of the Wyatt family and team up with his brother. I think that, you know, that would be a better way to utilize him, quite frankly, than the whole Bo leave gimmick that he's doing right now. And as far as Evolution goes, I talked about this last month or right around WrestleMania. I would have had Cesaro in that role. I think Cesaro would have been better as a member of Evolution. If you were going to keep Cesaro as a heel, I think he would have been better off, you know, as the protege of Triple H. But, you know, what they're doing now with Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton, I mean, that's fine. And, you know, you could add another member of Evolution. I definitely think somebody could benefit from that and could get the rub off of those guys. So if not Cesaro, you know, there's a lot of people, Dolph Ziggler, a lot of guys that are on the mid-card that are really going nowhere that could really benefit from a renewed push. And, you know, there's been some talk about Sheamus being in that role. I don't know if he's the best guy or not. One would think that you would go with somebody a little bit younger. But anything could happen with Evolution. So, you know, I would still, at this point, since Cesaro's already with Heyman, I mean, I would go with either Ziggler or Sheamus for a new member of Evolution. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Subscribe if you haven't already. This Sunday, I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be doing instant reaction videos. So I will be posting videos during the pay-per-view, not after the pay-per-view. And I will have immediate thoughts on some of the big matches and some of the big storylines that take place at Payback. So keep an eye out on the YouTube channel, and I won't be posting spoilers. I'll just say instant reaction to Bray Wyatt versus John Cena Payback 2014. There won't be an actual spoiler in the title. So I know some of you will be happy about that. So stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest late-breaking news and rumors regarding Payback. And I will see you guys Sunday night for my instant thoughts on WWE Payback 2014.